Hi guys, welcome to another Buzzing walkabout here on Buzzin Pattaya. And today, as you can see, I'm down here on Beach Road and it's a very late evening. It's like 4:30, nearly 5 o'clock. And I thought, well, let's have a walk up Beach Road. We're going to start right down at the very beginning and I'm going to walk all the way up to Walking Street. Probably be a two-part walk this one because it's quite a way. And there's lots of things I want to show you and talk to you about as we go along the route. So I am going to probably break this into two parts. But before we get off, I just want to say a few thank yous. I'd like to say thank you to our new members, to Frank L, to Terence Lee, Tony D, and Dubai Falang. Thank you so much for joining the channel. Your support is much appreciated, and welcome to our group. All right, so today I'm going to head up Beach Road, as I've just said, and we'll have a look at what's going on, see what things are developing. A few of the bars are starting to open now on Beach Road, which is encouraging, and there's still a lot more to come. So let me just turn the camera around and then we'll head off up and we'll go and see what's going on this beautiful, let me spin the camera around a bit, look at that, there you go, beautiful, beautiful late afternoon, it really is. Okay, so let's head up. One place I do want to show you before we even get started is across the road there. Now you see that? That's called Gulliver's. Back in the day it used to be really nice. Obviously I'm talking pre-COVID, but it was a great place to hang out, sit outside there in the beer garden, have a few beers, watch the sunset go down. An oldie worldy style English kind of pub inside. Great food and reasonably priced drinks as well. So when things do get back, and hopefully it won't be in the too distant future, but when things do return back to normal, I would recommend jumping into Gulliver's and go check it out, because it really is a good place to hang out and a good place to have a drink. All right, so we're going to head up, and one of the things I want to talk about, there's a few things been happening recently, but in particular some changes, some big announcements have been made, and as you may or may not be aware, they are addressing the quarantine period. It's now going to be reduced down, and what they're saying is that if you've had a vaccination within 3 months of the date of your travel, and providing you've had a COVID test that's returned a negative result within 3 days of your travel, that you will only be required to do 7 days quarantine. Now I know before I even finish this sentence that you guys there are thinking, I'm still not coming for 7 days, and you know what? I don't blame you. I really, really don't blame you. Particularly if you're coming here for a 2 or 3 week haunt, then you know, there's no point sitting in a hotel room in quarantine for 7 days, even though it is a much better proposition than the current 14 days. And you know, in our Telegram group, we've got a few people, like Jerry, for instance. He's currently going through quarantine. He's doing the full 2 weeks, and it's been interesting. He's been posting away, sharing his information, his details about what's going on each day, and the breakfast he's getting, etc, etc. And I've got to say, fair play to you, Jerry, if you're watching this video. You are going through something that I particularly wouldn't choose to do. And in case you missed the video I did with Mickey, Mickey did a video with me, and it was really good fun. I mean, he was so funny. He told us all about his quarantine expedition and how it all went. And if you'd missed it, I'll put a link in the description below, but it really was something else. All right, now opposite here, now you see across the road there, Fat Coco. Quite a few of you have said to me about pool parties, about where you can go and enjoy a pool party. Well, Fat Coco is definitely one of those places. They've got a great setup in there. There's large cushion areas, there's individual salas, it's all going on in there. So if you are looking for a pool party venue, then let me just spin around, there you go. And it's part of the A1 hotel group. You can see there in the top right hand corner, and that is basically where the best pool parties are at this current moment in time. It's quite pricey for what you're going to get, but it is very nice. It's very secluded, great music, good DJs, good food, very, very good food. But as I say, it's the kind of prices that you would expect to pay if you were in an Ibiza kind of style pool party. And incidentally, the A1 group are going through a huge renovation. You see what they're doing over there? Now that's quite recent, and I'm not sure what they're doing. Obviously the cabana there, the overhead, Maybe they're going to put a restaurant there. I really honestly don't know. And if you remember, I did a video about Malibu. Malibu is the jazz club. Now you see where that food stall is there, opposite there, the guy just walking across the road. If you go up there, it is literally on the left hand side of the entrance, and if I can get a shot of it I'll show you. But if you like your jazz evenings, they have a guy come down who is Coach Sax, Mr. Coach Sax, and he's the best saxophonist in the country. And where that guy's walking now in the blue shirt with his lottery board, that's where the entrance is. You just turn left there where he is right now, and you'll go into what's called Malibu. And if you haven't seen that, check out the videos. You'll see the video I did with them there. So incidentally, another recent news alert is that Songkran. Now I know some of you hate it. I understand why. And obviously there are lots of you that love it. But what they're saying is that it is definitely going to go ahead. The Prime Minister has made the decision, but what they're going to do now is decide as to how long they are going to allow it to happen. And the rumours are right now is that here in Pattaya, they are going to permit Songkran between the 10th and the 15th of April. That's the scheduled dates, the 10th to the 15th of April, which I have to say is a bit strange. And I'll say the reason strange because the big party day always used to be the 19th. That was the day, and for some reason they brought it forward, and I don't really know why, because at the end of the day, whether we celebrate it on the 15th or we celebrate it on the 19th is in many ways irrelevant. But the point being that obviously the 19th is a day that pretty much we're all triggered for. But as I say, they're saying it's the 10th to the 15th, but in true Pattaya and Thai style, I'm sure that will change in the not so distant future. We are used to getting things thrown at us and changed, so who knows, watch this space. But right now Songkran is going to happen, and it's going to be 5 days. I must admit, in the early years when I first came, I loved it. It was amazing. But I've got to say, I'm probably just getting old and just being an old fuddy-duddy. But walking down the road and getting an ice cold bucket of water thrown over me really is not my cup of tea in any way, shape or form. Yes, I am a Victor Meldrew bar humbug, but at least I admit it. Now this shopping mall you can see here over on the left hand side, you know, it really has been hit in every direction. It was slow to be completed, then it was completed, and of course COVID hit hard, and it really hasn't got off the ground, and there's no indication that really it's going to get off the ground, particularly when you consider that Terminal 21 is literally a stone's throw away, and obviously a lot better. But it's there, and I guess it's not going anywhere, but like I say, it's definitely under the cosh. All right, so we're going to head a bit further up. Incidentally, a question I was asked the other day was, when is the best time to come to Pattaya to Thailand in terms of the weather? Now those of you that are more seasoned travellers and you've been here a fair few times, possibly, I would imagine you've experienced the rainy season at some stage or other. And I have to say, during August, September and October, they are the more likely times that we are going to experience the heavy rainpours that we are so used to here. And it turns this road, believe it or not, if you haven't been here, it will turn this road into a river, despite the fact that they've done huge amounts of improvements of underground tunneling. Just hasn't worked. It really does become a river. And if you've experienced the floods here that we are talking about, please drop a comment below. Have you been monsooned in and rained in where you can't move or anything? Now if there's a place where you do want to get monsooned in and rained in, I'm going to share that with you now. Let's just have a look over here. There you go. There is Soi 6, which bad time, there's a truck in the way. Unfortunately, as you can see now, look how empty it is. Really is a shame. And that leads me on to a discussion we're going to talk about in another chat about live streaming. Had a really good chat with one of the bar owners the other day, and he spoke in great detail about the live streaming and the ethics behind it, etc. And it really did make perfect sense in many ways. So I will bring that to the table on another video. All right, let's go around this way actually, maybe better. You know, fair credit to the City Council. As you can see here, you know, they have done their level best with this beach. And in fairness, it doesn't look too bad, does it really? Let's be honest. Look at that, that's not too bad. And that goes back to about when's the best time to come here. Now, if you do like the sun, and I have to say, be very, very careful because it will catch you without you realising it. But our hottest months are February, March and April. They're the 3 months that seem to get the majority of the hot heat here, and I can't stress it enough. Be very, very careful because honestly, it'll nip you up in literally an hour and you'll be fried like a piece of bacon on a hot barbecue. It really is brutal. And it's funny, you know, my mother, bless her, love her to bits, and mum, if you're watching, hope you're okay. But she absolutely loves the sun and can sit out in this sun with no sun cream or anything and just bake. And she has got crocodile skin and she is very, very brown, and she is at the later stages of her life, so her argument is, I don't care. And to be honest with you, mum, I don't blame you in fairness, but it is brutal out here, so be very, very careful. And yes, we do have, although those of you that haven't been here very many times won't probably appreciate this, but we do have what's called a cold season. And that entails basically between November and January, it does get nippy. And I mean, I'm talking, you're putting on a sweatshirt, you're huddled around a barbecue for the heat. It really does get cold. And I know you're probably listening to me thinking, what a load of rubbish. But honestly, it does get cold, and if you go up north, my lord, you know, it can be really, really cold, like jumper, sweatshirt, all that kind of cold. So if you do come over in that time, just be prepared. And I know it sounds daft, but trust me, stick a sweatshirt in your suitcase, because if you've been out all day in the sun and you've been enjoying yourself, and then you go to the evening, at night time, the temperatures can drop quite drastically and it really can catch you out. So please be warned. Oh, it's lovely today. You watch later on, I'll be thinking, bloody hell, where's my sweatshirt? All right, so we're just heading further up, and this side of the beach, this end of Beach Road, is really nice because there really genuinely isn't a lot goes on, to be honest, as you can see. And even in pre-COVID times, other than the early mornings where you'd get literally hundreds of Chinese tourists all looking at their pictures where they've been out, and what they do is they go out, let me spin this camera, and they go out there. You can see them, see out in the distance there, these long pontoons, see them all there? And what they do is they do the old paragliding and parasailing, etc. And they go out, do their thing, come back, and then they hoard, and literally they can block this path off, and they all hang around looking for their photo, their souvenir to take home and say, yes, I wasted 10 minutes of my life flying around up there and paid through the nose. But hey ho, each to their own. It is, as they say, what it is. And while we're on the subject of things to do in the water, jet skis. Guys, I can't tell you this enough times, and I make no apologies if I'm repeating myself here, but please, without any question of doubt, make sure you avoid renting a jet ski here at all costs, because they really are out to get you. And trust me, I've seen some very unpleasant situations where people have suddenly been presented with a damage bill, etc, etc, which they didn't cause, and it's all gone pear-shaped. So please guys, as I say, you know, do your level best to avoid the jet skis as much as they are fun. Having said that, if you do use your initiative, take photos, look underneath it, you know, move it from side to side in the sea so you get a good visual, note it all down, the scratches and any damage whatsoever, and you make it known to the jet ski operator that you've got this, you know what you're walking into, then you can actually go out and have a good time. But for those of you that just jump on, ride off out into that beautiful sea out there, look at that. If you ride off out to there without any check-in whatsoever, you are gonna be in a world of possible trouble. All right, so we're up now towards this place. How many of you guys have ever stayed here, partied here, or enjoyed one of their pool parties? The Hard Rock Cafe, there you go. It's only recently started to reopen again. It's been closed obviously, and they've just announced that they are planning to reopen at the weekends, which is, I guess, why there's a lot of activity at the moment. Maybe they're prepping up and getting ready. And in true Thai style, there we go, motorbike the wrong way down a pedestrianised walkway. You just gotta love it. All right, so heading up now, we're doing nicely. We're heading up towards the central part, which is Pattaya Klang. Now, if you like your Indian food, Pattaya Klang is home to what I believe to be the longest established Indian restaurant here in Pattaya, and that is called Alibaba. Now, if you do like your Indian food, please pay a visit to Pavit. Pavit's the owner, he's a lovely guy, great food, a little bit expensive, but you pay for what you get, and you will definitely have a nice meal there in Alibaba's. And Pattaya Klang is just up here, and what we'll do, look at this now at night time when it's dark, I believe this archway of hearts is all illuminated. I won't personally be going through worrying about being in a heart for my selfies, but I'm sure the girls that are out there, the Chinese, they all love a selfie. Here we go, let's walk through this. Smile for the camera. I mean, they have got some quite cool concepts. It's just a shame there's nobody here to enjoy it at the moment. And they reckon, whether or not it's going to happen, but they reckon that September, October, maybe when the quarantine is completely abolished, provided you have your insurance certificate for the COVID and you've had your vaccine. And I'm guessing you'll probably have to do a test, like they were saying earlier, 3 days before you set off to prove that you're negative. I know initially we were looking at July the 1st, and I know some of you guys out there that are on the channel were commenting that there's absolutely no chance of that whatsoever, and it appears you're right. But unfortunately, you know, we have to live in hope, and it seems we are looking at October time, September, October. See, look at these, more of these lights here, see these? I will come down one evening and we'll have a look at this, because it does look quite nice. And across the road there, Witherspoons at Beach Road. Great place if you want to just sit there, chill out, have a nice pint, and just enjoy watching the sunset. Beautiful. Now remember I said to you about Alibaba's. See if we can see it from here, I'm not sure, one second. Okay, so if you look up there on the right hand side, you see that red sign where my finger's pointing now. Alibaba is just there, and it's an upstairs. You have to go upstairs to the Indian restaurant, but it's up there. Check it out, really good food. Now if you're looking for a shirt or a suit, or if you know you're a businessman and you're here on holiday and you want to pick up a decent suit, Tito Fashion across the road there has a very, very good reputation. Personally, I haven't actually got a shirt or a suit from them, because quite honestly I don't need one here, but I do know many others that have, and as I say, it has a very, very good reputation, so definitely want to check out. All right, so let's conclude part one while we're here. Reminds me of Trafalgar Square, this does, look. There you go, all the birds coming down. So let me just spin the camera around. All right guys, there you go. So that's it for me today on part 1 of walking along Beach Road here on Buzzin, Pattaya. And as you can see behind me now, it reminds me of Trafalgar Square, being back at home, back in London. All the pigeons and the bird feeding, etc, etc. All right, so please remember to watch out for part 2, be out in a few days. In the meantime, please hit the subscribe button and also the bell icon if you'd like to be notified when we bring out a new video. Don't forget, check out our members area. There's more and more members joining every week, and it's great to have you on board. Also join our Telegram group. There's lots of people, like-minded people just like you guys, that enjoy all the chat and everything about the banter about Pattaya and all the things that go on here. So please join that. All right, well, I'm going to head off before these birds decide to use me as a perch. And as you guys know, I do have a shiny beacon here, so maybe they'll think it's something, a landing point, whatever. But I'll look forward to seeing you in part 2 in very near future. All right, guys, wherever you are in the world, please stay safe.